Dun, 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 All right, so I'm gonna act like you guys did not just see that, and you guys did not just hear that. We're here to talk about AI, and this is not the right one. So, as you guys see here, this is my proposal. She said no, by the way, but it's okay. I'm past that now, guys. I moved on. Can't do this. I can't do this right now. But I'm gonna stop messing around. We gotta get to it. So, what topic did I choose? I chose AI and mind, because we're in minds. And everyone has a mind. At least I hope you have a mind. Basically, my claim to fame in the one that I chose was AI minds are more efficient than ours. And why is that? Why is that the case? Well, I got a couple examples for you guys. Fatigue. Fatigue kicks in when you're tired. Like, let's say you got done working out and you got to go work like a shift right now. Or you got out of practice and you have to go work a job right after. Like, you have to go sling some bread. I don't know. What door dashing or Uber eating, whatever it's called, you gotta go do that, right? Obviously, you're gonna be tired. You just got done doing a strenuous activity. This is something that you take into account when we consider how efficiently we work. I worked 4 jobs last summer, right? I worked 4 jobs, and I was tired working each one of those jobs, and I did not do each of those jobs to the best of my ability. Now, why is that? Fatigue. Right? I will be wrestling at one point in the day. Then I'm going to go work from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m., sleep all day until 6 p.m., and then go work from 6 to 9 at my other job, and then go back to sleep. And then I would have an online job that would work on the weekends as well, and I would also go bale hay on the side. Now, was I doing all those to the best of my ability? Yes, but obviously I wasn't as productive, and I was almost falling asleep a bunch of times in work because it was tiring, right? This is a problem. We, as humans, get tired. AI, robots, they do not get tired. Now, do they break down? Yes. Are they buckets of bolts? Yes, they are. Here's another example of something that could fatigue you. I know that may not have been the best example, but it was the one I had. Can I get some water? Next is emotional barriers, right? That's the next topic of discussion. It's emotional barriers. And I'm not sure if you guys can see that at all, but emotional barriers, positive and negative. Now, when it comes to emotional barriers, there's a lot of things that could keep you from being successful in whatever you do based off of how you're feeling. Let's say you're sad, right? Let's say you had a family member pass away, right? And you have to go to work. Now, a lot of people call in and don't show up to work, at least that next day or two, right? Because it's hard to lose a family member and then go back to work. So robots and AI, they can run without having those emotional barriers to prevent them from stopping in their processes, right? Because they don't have family. They don't have those types of feelings, right? They don't have these negative feelings if somebody were to pass away, and robots don't have family anymore. But let's say they did. Let's say my MacBook was cousins with my Chromebook, and my Chromebook died. My MacBook isn't going to be calling in sick because it's a computer. 2, because it's a computer. 3, because it's a fucking computer. My fault. I didn't mean to come off that aggressive. Because these robots and systems do not have human emotions, they don't feel like we do. They don't have the capability to have our emotions, meaning they can't feel sadness, they can't feel happy, which means they just do. Actually, I would say it's probably a good thing that they don't have human emotions. Positive emotions are always better than negative emotions, because if we're having positive emotions for that day, if we wake up feeling really productive, we could get a lot done in that day that we normally wouldn't get done because we're having a good day emotionally. If you have a good day, you're almost guaranteed to have the most productive day out of that week. How can we overcome this? Emotions aren't always a hindrance. Emotions play a key role in our day-to-day lives and how we present ourselves. If you show up to class late because you were tired, right? That's another thing. You know, robots and things that they don't really get tired. Yes, they die when their batteries run out or they stop working because they malfunction, but they don't get tired. We do get tired. So that's a. First, you look at me. Hold on, what's up, girl? You can holler at her later. Get done. Just cut that whole get it out. We can overcome these emotional barriers. I know it's not easy to always be in tune with your feelings and your emotions. They may not always be a hindrance, but they're not always a good thing either. You know, like you can be really upset about something, and then for that whole day, that's all you're thinking about. Even while you're working or doing schoolwork or even taking a test, you're just focused on that one thing, and then everything else you just don't care about for the rest of the day. That's the only thing you're focused on. Focus on the negatives instead of the positives. That's what leads to you being very unproductive in a day. And this is the problem with a lot of us to this day right now. And I'm guilty of it too. You know, being upset about something for a period of time and it just affects my ability to take notes in class or just show up in general. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying anybody's perfect, well, except for Bill Clinton. One thing we can't control is our health, right? We can help our health, but we can't always control when we're going to get sick or how we get sick. Robots and AI do not get sick. This is another plus with robots and AI minds, which means they can have twice as much productivity because they're not having those moments where they're having to stop working because they're not sick. But if they do malfunction, that does create a problem because then you have to deal with those malfunctions, obviously. So in these case scenarios, human minds and AI minds are similar and closely interrelated just because of that fact that AI minds can break down and have trouble performing. But as it relates to AI minds, they can't call in sick. 2 plus 2 equals subscribe. So just don't question the math. 2 plus 2 equals subscribe. Go ahead and do that. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's rarely I'm a bust my ass if I fall. When it comes down to really breaking down the human mind versus the AI mind, when it comes to breaking down human minds versus AI minds, it comes down to which is more productive and how can we increase the productivity of a human mind versus an AI mind. Every time I come to this question, I come to the same conclusion that the only way to increase human brain capacity to match AI is to just increase positive thoughts and positive behaviors, right? Positive affirmations, things like that can really help increase our productivity. If we were to take those positive emotions that we have as humans, right? Take these positive emotions and these positive feelings that we have that AI doesn't and pluck them into the AI minds will be a significantly more efficient version of us. This is how we can create a better mind because as humans, we only have a certain brain capacity we can go up to, right? Yeah, we can keep improving and increasing our knowledge, but our capacity is limited because we're limited as humans, right? But these robots and AI, they can continuously be developed and programmed to, surpass us. And a lot of robots and AI to this day can surpass us. But it's a scary thought at the same time. Because if these robots start having feelings and emotions, what if they feel like we're obsolete? What if they feel like we don't belong here? What if they feel like we're damaging the earth and they decide to do something drastic to take us out? It's very possible. That is very possible. Very possible. Think I'm lying? Mm-mm. Go watch some sci-fi movies. I ain't lying. Keep it a buck and keep it 100 with y'all. My camera's about to blow over in this wind. So there's this book I actually read, right? And it was called Insignia, right? It's called the Insignia series. The coolest thing about this book series is that they would take like little chips, they call them neural processors, and they would stick them into people's minds, and they'd be able to process and think at fast rates like a computer, like an AI mind. It's like a human supercomputer, right? These are the types of innovations and things that we could see potentially in the future. Now, is it a little far out there? Yes, it is. But is it completely impossible? No, it's not. Reverse it, right? Because in this case, they're taking a microcomputer and putting it into the human mind. Let's put human emotions into a fully functional AI and see what we get, right? That would be literally the inverse. While it may not be plausible right now, it's a very realistic thing that could happen in the future. But I have some notes here that I wanted to read because I can't remember all this stuff off the top of my head. So I'm going to use my notes a little bit and give you guys some more clarity on this subject matter, right? AI minds with our best emotions have the best productivity, right? This is what I was hitting on earlier, right? If you take the best emotions, the most positive emotions that we have as humans that make us more productive and plug them into AI minds, they will be the most efficient version of AI that we have seen in a long time or ever possibly. Or a potential fix for AI, we want to model AI after humans without negative emotions. If we could redesign human minds through AI, we could create a more sufficient mind and one that could process at higher speeds than we ever could. Probably faster than my Wi-Fi too, because it's pretty slow.